because it's going to take us another couple minutes to finish this. I think this is the last slide. So the last two, these are rarer. They are literally rarer. We don't use them as much. These are the two that I think that if we have genetic variation are the two that fall off. Or maybe not. It's really a good question. Or maybe they're just used less, or they're less useful, and so therefore we don't develop them for some of us. But there are a sense of the aesthetic, which is, and now we're very much into 2 or even 3 dimensions in our thinking, but it's our sense of arrays, how we put together harmony and beauty. It turns out, I think it's a powerful form of ethical analysis. I think it's also relational analysis. I think once you're looking for it, you can see it. But it's not standard. It's not in my 5 measures that I'm assessed for you folks. It is not as common. And if it is common, if it is one that you use, you're probably not in this class. Okay? Because if it's a standard one that you use, you're off in art school, or you're a philosopher, or you're writing novels, or you're doing something that is looking at trying to create a more beautiful world to begin with, not a more practical world. That's a very different kind of reasoning. And then the last one is the transcendent, which is our sense of ultimate meaning and value, which is profound and powerful, but probably pretty rare in terms of human experience. It's well attested in the religious literature, but outside of that, not a lot of people want to talk about it. And I think for some good philosophical reasons they don't want to talk about it. And I think practically it's just rarer. It just doesn't happen as often, because these are, if my model is correct, these are actually at the extremes of what your brain is capable of doing. So, a quick overview. This material, so visual geometry, the type of moral relations, and then this is what set me off on this track, is the traditional ethics perspectives. And you can see that these are the 7, and there are ethical perspectives that go with each. And these are real ethical perspectives. They are out there, they are part of the literature, they're part of the way people try and solve problems, and they line up so beautifully with this. Just for me, that made so much sense. Well, in part because I started from here to get to there, and then come back the other way, and it fits together. And we looked at Kantian deontology and utilitarian ethics on Tuesday. They're certainly part of how this works in a very simple, straightforward way. But there are lots of other kinds of ethics, as we will see over the coming weeks. So next week, these 2, the following week, these 2, the week after that, these 2, and then for 2 weeks, we'll spend time working with that one. Because while that one may be rarer, it turns out to probably be the most important, but it functions in a very different way for all of us. So we'll get there last. And we'll have to unpack a bunch of other stuff that has to do with the way I think the brain is processing this stuff. Which is probably true the way the brain is processing these, but it's just harder to see it or not as essential. So, that is that.